Has a real estate correction already started? Hey everybody, Scott Walters, welcome into the channel. If you're new, I want to thank you for coming. If you're returning, I want to thank you for your continued support. Before we get into today's red hot topic, I'm going to politely ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Please watch to the end for my final thought and hit the bell icon so you're notified when new videos are released. It's very important to stay close to the channel in these ever-changing times. All right, folks, let's jump right into it. Again, I laugh at this stuff a lot of times because it's just so, it's almost laughable. Ever-changing times. My gosh, this is insanity what we're living in. The biggest real estate bubble in world history. Welcome to the biggest bubble in history. And I asked this question on the channel. Many of you responded. Appreciate it a lot. Do you believe that we are already in a real estate correction? And many, if not all of you, said yes, you do. And the reality is, folks, you might be right. You see, one of the things we got to understand, and I've said this a lot, and again, if you're not subscribed to this channel, I strongly urge you to become a channel subscriber. We have probably the most active chat boards here on this channel in YouTube in the real estate space. And it's just been awesome to help a lot of you, and I think we're going to do some really good things. Like I always say, folks, we talk about real estate here, but this is much bigger than real estate. And I always say, for me to increase or even maintain my wealth, I have to make you wealthy first. That's really what it comes down to, folks. We have to increase other people's wealth to become wealthy. Rich people didn't get rich by accident. They got rich by making other people rich. And so that's really what we need to do here, folks. And a lot of times it's going to be just, basically, being of service. If we can just be of service, we're increasing people's wealth. And so one of the things, folks, for me, again, I come here as a real estate agent in the most euphoric real estate market in world history who benefits from this market continuing to stay euphoric. But as a realist and somebody who's lived through the last downturn, I know there is a really big chance it will not. It's just, 2 plus 2 does not equal 4 in this case. What we're going to see is a correction, and it's almost guaranteed at this point because we are purely being propped up by stimulus. But one of the indicators that I believe, and that's really what we can look at now, are indicators. What are the indicators that let us know we're in a real estate correction? Well, for one, we've already seen many buyers just dropping out in droves, and many people coming to market selling just because because they want to, not because they have to. You even have Zillow fire sailing properties at a loss. These are indicators. As a real estate agent who can monitor the multiple listing service and see what other agents are doing and posting, I continue to see more and more properties coming back to market. Sellers or buyers got cold feet, buyers backing out. And price reductions. It's just happening out there, folks. I continue to see the properties that do the properties that do get sold, not going for over asking price at the astronomical levels that they were. Now what we're seeing is properties go in or around market value, list price, if they're priced right. And so that's another market shift. Like I said before, and most of you understand now, the real estate market doesn't crash overnight. It moves very slow. Like we said, barring some left field black swan event, war, feast, famine, whatever, locked down again, and the government doesn't, stimulate or bail us out, then we're screwed. It's just going to happen overnight. But right now what we're seeing is just a propped up euphoric housing market that experienced high buying euphoria through herd mentality just because the interest rates were dropped to the point where people rushed out in this fear of missing out and they overpaid to get that money. And so now that money they got wasn't really worth it. Banks have cut off people's personal lines of credit because they were using that to try to make up the difference on the properties that they bought because they wouldn't appraise out for the prices that they offered, so they had to find extra money. Banks are like, not using us, they're out. So there's so many indicators, but one of the things I really wanted to do today, folks, to let you know why I believe the correction has already started. If that alone hasn't convinced you that we're now headed towards a correction or in fact in one, the reality is that for a lot of us, until we see like actual, prices start to come down, we don't feel like we're in a correction. Well, listen, folks, these are all signs of a market correcting. What we're seeing currently is a market correcting. And what I'm seeing, even through my systems and portals and all the things I use on a daily basis to heat map my active buyers, I've seen more people deactivate their accounts with me. I've seen more people backing out. I get hardly any calls anymore versus the amount of new buyer calls I was getting in the height of the euphoria. The reality is the buyers that we're currently working with right now are just the ones left over from the buying euphoria that didn't get their offer accepted. That's who we're helping right now. The majority of the buyers that are still in the market right now that you're seeing buying are just people left over from the height of the buying euphoria that didn't get their offer accepted, and they've already made a commitment. I'm gonna buy no matter what. Honey, I really want a new house. That's what we're seeing, folks. And it's dangerous and it's scary. Like I've said before, folks, I'm not here to discourage everybody from buying. There's a lot of people out there right now that I'm helping. I have no problem helping them buy because no matter what the economy does, well, I shouldn't say no matter. If there's a crash, they're going to get hit hard. A lot of these wealthy people, they just have farther to go down. They're going to get hit too. But there's a lot of people right now that are coming in with big, heavy down payments. I got a call today from a new buyer, and I asked him, what kind of down payment do you have? And he goes, the minimum amount. I want to put the minimum amount down. And I was just like, of course I didn't want to just flat out come out and tell him, dude, you're an idiot. What are you thinking? Because my job's to help people. But at some point, I'm going to have the hard conversation with him. Listen, my friend, right now, you shouldn't come in with the minimum amount down. But let's get you together with the lender and have you talk with them first. Usually the lender will be able to explain to them what they can or can't do. So it's not really up to me, the sales agent, to start dropping bombs on them. But that's what the kind of calls that I still get are people, their heads in the clouds, they're scared, they're nervous, whatever. They want to put minimum amounts down. Not smart. So in final thoughts, folks, yes, this is in fact a real estate. This is a sign of a real estate starting to correct. When you see properties no longer going for over asking price at high levels, when you see properties continue to go through price changes, when you see big companies liquidating homes at a loss, when you see buyers backing out and tapping out of deals and properties falling out of escrow, that's another market shift. The most recent one are the people that are currently out there buying now are just people left over from the buying euphoria. Once we get through those, then we're going to see prices do what they do. So stay tuned to the channel. If you appreciate the content, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Go make it count today. See you on the next video.